We're gonna need all the help we can get.
Let's get to work.
It's all dark and horny at 12 o'clock.
And you know what else is perfectly fine? The sequel, Frozen Empire. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I actually just watched this for the first time. And, I came out of it feeling exactly the same way as I did with Afterlife. It's just okay. There's a lot of things in it I don't like. Phoebe's the little girl. I thought she was fine in the last one. I thought she was like she was a decent character. But making the new Ghostbusters have characters, like having a main character, it feels so wrong. Because I guess Peter Venkman is the main character in the first one. But that movie really succeeds on it being an ensemble. It's those characters playing off of each other. When it's at its strongest, it's Ray versus Egon. It's Egon versus Peter. That's what really holds that movie together. So to have a main character, and especially it being like a little girl, and it feels odd for the Ghostbusters. And I would have and if it worked, if I felt like it worked, I would be fine, but I don't think it works. And especially in this one, I don't think it works. I think it worked more in the last one. But the teen angst that Phoebe is going through in this movie just doesn't work. It's kind of annoying, and her character worked best in the last movie when she was playing off of that kid podcast. And because their relationship felt very much like Egon and Ray's relationship from the original two movies. And to separate those characters and have Phoebe interacting with a ghost for most of it and expressing teen angst, it just drags the movie down. It felt like you could have just easily wrote that subplot out and just had Phoebe and podcast just doing their thing, and it would have worked so much better. Like, they could have accidentally released the ice demon or whatever, and it would have worked so much better. But it's really the thing that holds the movie back for me. I think I would have liked this movie more than the last one if it didn't have that. But instead it just feels firmly at eye level with the last movie, which I also don't love. I will never watch these movies again unless there's a sequel and I go, I guess I'll just refresh my memory on what happened. There's nothing about these movies that really make them stand on their own. The villain of Frozen Empire feels like a character from the real Ghostbusters cartoon. He doesn't feel like that much of a threat, despite the fact that he's actually killing people, which I don't think happens in any of the Ghostbusters movie up to this point. If it does, I don't remember, so I'm sure someone will be upset with me if I got that little bit of information wrong. But it's just odd. Bill Murray shows up for like 10 seconds, and that's kind of fun. You get to see Janine in a Ghostbusters uniform, so it's like a lot of fan service stuff. But I think what really worked about the movie was, I can't remember the actor's name, but he plays the fire marshal or the fire master, not the fire marshal. That's Jim Carrey. He plays the fire master. That guy felt perfect. That guy was so funny. That guy felt like he was in a Ghostbusters movie. He had that same like cynical humor that I associate with the first movie. He's like, oh yeah, I sell sneakers. Any size. What do you wear? He goes, 10. He goes, can you squeeze into an 8? Just that kind of humor. I think it worked so well. I think I would have really loved a movie with Paul Rudd, him, I guess the mom. I think those characters could have been like really great Ghostbusters. I think that cast really works well. Where the kids, I don't want to say they don't work well. I think it's not that they don't work well. I think they could work well. I think they're just being betrayed by the writing. I think there's a way you could make it work. You could make it interesting. But I don't know. The movie just didn't sit that well with me. But what I did get out of this movie was I got a Ghostbusters popcorn bucket that looks like a ghost trap. And I don't know why I bought this thing. I just, like, the little kid in me was like, oh, I want this.